All right, let's talk about the passive voice. And I know, just hearing that phrase can feel like you're back in English class, right? But what if I told you it's not just some dusty old grammar rule? What if it's actually a secret weapon for writers? A tool that can give your writing some serious power and precision? Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, so take a look at these two sentences right here. My bike was stolen and my bike got stolen. On the surface, they mean the same thing, don't they? I mean, either way, you're walking home. But in the world of writing, that little switch from was to got, oh, it makes a world of difference. It's a subtle clue about the tone, the feeling, the whole story. So what's the actual difference here? And, the more important question is, when does this even matter? When should you care about this as a writer? Well, that's what we're here for. We're going to crack this code, break down the passive voice, so you can start using it like a pro with total intention.
But hey, before we can solve that whole was versus got mystery, we got to go back to basics for just a second. We need to make sure we're all on the same page with the two big players here, active and passive voice.
First up, the active voice. This one's the superstar, the one we all know and love. It's super straightforward. The subject of the sentence, they're the one doing the thing. The cow is eating grass. Who's doing the eating? The cow. It's direct, it's clear, it's got energy, bam.
Okay, now let's flip that on its head. Welcome to the passive voice. Here, the subject isn't the hero anymore. They're just kind of sitting there, letting things happen to them. Grass is being eaten by the cow. The subject is now the grass, but the grass isn't doing a thing, right? The action is happening to it. The spotlight totally shifts from the doer to the receiver.
And this table here, it shows you that transformation perfectly. Look, on the left, active voice. The subject is the one in charge. Then, in the passive column, the old object gets a promotion and becomes the new subject. See it? He lights the candle turns into the candle is lighted by him. Or, she has stolen my book becomes my book has been stolen by her. You see how that object just hops over to the front of the line?
So you're probably wondering, how do you actually make one of these sentences? Well, the good news is the mechanics are actually pretty simple. Let's run through the formula real quick.
Think of it like a four-step recipe. First, you find your ingredients, the subject, the verb, and the object. Step 2, you take the object and move it right up to the front, making it the new subject. Step 3, this is the magic part, you add the right form of the verb to be, and then the past participle of your main verb. And finally, step 4, you can add by plus the original subject if you even need to say who did it. See? Easy.
All right, foundation is solid, we're all caught up. Now we can finally get to the main event. This is the good stuff, the subtle dance between the be passive and the get passive. This is where you, as a writer, can really start to play with nuance.
Think of this as your ultimate cheat sheet for the passive voice. On one side, you've got the be passive. That's your is, was, were. It's a bit more formal, buttoned up, perfect for your academic papers or professional reports. On the other side, we have the get passive. This one's more casual, like you're just talking to a friend. But here's the kicker. It only works with action verbs, and its real superpower is to show that something unexpected just went down.
Okay, let's really dig into that idea of surprise, because it's super important. Using the get passive is like sending a secret signal to your reader. It's a little flag that says, whoa, this was not part of the plan.
Let's circle all the way back to our first example. My bike got stolen. See, when you use got instead of was, you're not just reporting a fact. You're broadcasting the shock, the surprise, the awfulness of it. It feels way more personal, more immediate. If you were filling out a formal police report, sure, you'd write, my bike was stolen. But telling your buddy what happened, you'd say, you're not going to believe this! My bike got stolen!
So let's lock this in. The get passive is your go-to move in a few specific situations. You pull it out when you want a more informal, conversational vibe. You use it to really highlight things that are unexpected or totally out of your control. And here's the cool part. That surprise can be a good thing or a bad thing.
And that's so crucial to remember. This isn't just for bad news and stolen bikes. The get passive is awesome for shouting about positive surprises too. This is where it gets really fun and expressive.
I mean, think about it. Yelling, I got promoted, that has a totally different energy than the much more formal, I was promoted. Got just explodes with excitement, with that happy shock, that feeling that something amazing and unexpected just happened. It's the language of good news.
Okay, so theory's down, we get it. But let's get practical. How does this actually work in the real world? When does making this choice between active, be passive, and get passive really make a difference in your everyday writing? This little quote I saw from a writer's discussion online just nails it. Personal blog? Active. Science? Passive. It's that simple. Your context is everything. Writing a personal blog post? You want that direct, punchy, active voice. But writing a lab report? The formal objective be passive is the standard because you want to focus on the experiment, not the person who did it.
And here is another fantastic piece of advice. If there's one golden rule you should tattoo on your brain, it's this one. You do not write a call to action in passive voice. Ever. When you need someone to do something, buy now, sign up today, you need the raw power of the active voice. I mean, the button should be clicked by you. Just doesn't really get you fired up, does it?
Now let's tackle a question that I know is on the mind of every digital writer out there. What about SEO? Does using the passive voice actually hurt your Google ranking? It's a huge debate, but the answer is a little more nuanced than you might think. It's less about the algorithm and more about the human on the other side of the screen. Okay, so here's the real story. Google isn't sitting there with a little red pen marking down every time you use a passive sentence. But Google is absolutely obsessed with user experience. And the active voice is almost always easier and faster for people to read. If your writing is clear, people stick around longer. And that dwell time, how long they stay on your page, is a huge thumbs up to search engines. So while it's not a direct penalty, overdoing the passive voice can definitely hurt you by making your stuff harder to read.
So after all that, what's the final verdict? Is one voice good and the other bad? Nope, it's not about that at all. It's about being a strategic writer. It's about making a conscious choice. Let's just quickly recap the big takeaways. Active voice, that's your tool for being direct, clear, and getting people to take action. The be passive, that's for more formal settings, when you want to put the focus on the result, not the person. And the get passive, that's your informal conversational choice for highlighting surprise, good or bad. And the number one rule that trumps all the others, context is king. Always choose the voice that fits your audience and your goal.
So don't think of these as strict, boring rules. Think of them as a code, a set of tools you now have in your toolkit that you can use with purpose and precision. You get the signals they send to your reader. So the real question now is, how are you going to use this code to make your own writing that much more powerful?